start with your name and your age, please.
I'm Kimberly, but you can call me Kim, and I'm 15. Well, like 15 and a half.
So let's talk about what your favorite show is.
Oh my gosh. Have you seen New Girl? That's like my new favorite show. It's so good. The bond she has with the boys, like I wish I could have guy friends like that. They're just so cool and they have her back. And when I grow up, I just hope I can have some close guy friends like that because guys in high school just suck.
If you could be one of the characters in that show, who would you be?
That's a hard one. I think I would say Cece because, she's gorgeous and she just has like huge boobs and a rockin' bod. So I definitely would pick her.
Hi Janet, thank you for joining us today. We just learned that your daughter really enjoys New Girl, and we were wondering what your thoughts are about this show.
Oh, New Girl. Oh, yes, that's a great show. Oh, me and my daughter, we watched that show together, actually. We co-view. I've seen the whole series, so I know everything that's, portrayed in the show, and I really like to be there when she watches the episodes.
That's very interesting that you mentioned that. What's the purpose of co-viewing?
Well, I think there's a lot of satire in the show that just goes right over her little adolescent brain, and I like to be there so I can explain some of the things. Like, for example, I think that the way they sexualize Cece a lot, like Schmidt, he's always making comments about her body, and I just think, it's for comedic use, but I don't want my daughter to perceive that in the wrong way, so I like to be there to explain that kind of thing to her.
So we've heard from an adolescent and we've heard from a parent. We'd also like your perspective as a teacher. So if you could please start with your name.
My name is Rebecca Greenleaf, and I am a social science high school teacher.
So we've heard that New Girl is all the craze. How do you see that in your classroom?
I watched a couple of the episodes, and I think for the most part it's like a good-hearted, warming type of series. Like the friendships are definitely there, but I do have some things, just like being a social science teacher, I have a background in like ethnic studies and psychology and women and gender studies, and I just have like an issue with a little bit of how the characters are portrayed. Like Winston and Coach, for example, they're definitely perpetuating the racial stereotypes of black men being mainly like athletic and just focusing more on their athletic abilities rather than like the writers writing them in as an intelligent or compassionate and like character and having that narrative about them. And then just something that I've also seen and heard some of the kids talking about is how the female characters are portrayed. And like Cece, she's this beautiful curvy Indian woman, and she's just fetishized by so many of the characters, and it definitely like puts something in a teen girl's brain that like you have to look that way, and teen boys think that it's okay to speak about women and their body parts in certain ways, and just the way that the different characters behave, I think kind of goes over some of the kids' head, and it's not necessarily like a positive role model. There's a lot of humor, and it doesn't bring about like gender or racial awareness that I think is so needed in like a climate right now.
Okay, thank you.
State your name.
My name is Dr. Mark.
And your profession.
A child developmentalist.
Awesome, thank you for being here with us. So the topic right now is all about New Girl. From a developmental perspective, we want to see what you have to say about how this is maybe affecting the behavior or lives of adolescents.
It's not very appropriate for our adolescents because they're in a different stage of development. So I'm talking about the psychosocial developmental stages of Erik Erikson. And in adolescence, they experience stage 5, which is identity versus a role confusion, and that's where they're trying to figure out who they are and what their gender is and their sexual orientation. And what the show is mainly about is stage 6, which is intimacy versus isolation, which is a lot of friendship building, a lot of finding that partner, your life partner, and figuring out where you're going to head from there and what you want to do in life. So in terms of being appropriate, it wouldn't be appropriate, and it's not as relatable.